Good morning, children. Let's continue this very interesting play on the face of it, written by British writer Susan Hill. What does this play depict? This play depicts very beautifully yet grimly the sad world of the physically impaired. It is not the actual pain or inconvenience caused by physical impairment that trouble a disabled man, but it's the attitude of the people who are around him. It's a story of two physically impaired people. An elderly person, Mr. Lamb, he has a tin leg, artificial leg, whereas Derry, a young boy, has a burnt face. And both of them they strike a band of friendship. So both of them come together. We are this teenager who is very pessimistic. On the other hand, an elderly man, Mr. Lamb, who is very lonely, is very optimistic, is very sociable. Now here, Derry is described as a young boy who is withdrawn and defiant. He is not ready to change his opinion. Very adamant. People tell him inspiring stories to console him. No one will ever kiss him except his mother, that too on the other side of his face. That's what he believes in. He mentions about a woman telling that only a mother can love such a face. And he narrates this to Mr. Lamb. Then Mr. Lamb revives the almost dead feelings of Derry towards life. He inspires him, he motivates him to think positively about life. He changes his mind, set about people and things. And you know how he is doing that. So now let's go and see further what all Mr. Lamb advises daily so that he can come out of that pessimistic outlook and he can change his attitude towards life. Mr. Lamb tells him about the bees. Earlier, I had told him about the plants. There are flowering plants and there are weeds. Both show signs of life and both lead their life. Similar way, in the case of bees, some people feel bees birds, others feel bees hum. So for some it's a noise, it's a nuisance, but for many others it's a melodious voice. It's a humming, it's a singing. So it all depends upon one's perspective, how one looks at the things. And Derek continues, but I like it here. I like this place. I came in because I liked it when I looked over the wall. So he has seen from outside and he felt that it's worth going there. And there he says that I have liked this place, that's why I have come over here. But I had seen from outside and that's why I had come here. If you had seen me, you would not have come in. If you had seen me, then what you would have done? No, that means if you had seen Mr. Lamb, if you had seen somebody, then he would not have come. He thought that it was an empty place and that is the reason why he has come over there. No. So Mr. Lamb is quite surprised. It would have been trespassing. It's like entering without permission, trespassing. Entering without permission. That's not why. That's not the real reason. Something else is there in your mind, Mr. Lamb says. I don't like being near people. And he tells the real reason. I don't like to go near people. So here he likes to keep himself aloof. He likes to keep himself isolated. When they stare, so he's fed up with that. Somebody may be physically impaired, but the real reason is not that physical impairment that creates a problem. But the real reason is that the way people show hatred towards these people who are physically impaired, people who are scarred, when I see them being afraid of me, you could lock yourself up in a room and never leave it. Then in that case, remain yourself in a room. You don't leave that room. Then there was a man who did that, and he goes further with the story now of a person. So let's continue this story of this person. We are going to come across a very interesting story. So there was a man, and who is narrating this story? Mr. Lamb. So he narrates a story of a man who had locked himself in his room. So he was afraid, and therefore, what did he do? This man locked himself in the room because he was afraid of everything. So afraid, you see, this man, why did he lock himself? Because he was afraid of everything in this world. So he thought that a bus might run him over and he might get killed due to that accident. Or a man might breathe deadly germs onto him, infection, and he may die due to infection, coronavirus infection. So some people, they try to avoid everybody. Why? Because they are afraid that the virus that is there, that may create a kind of trouble, that they might die. So a man might breathe deadly germs onto him, or a donkey might kick him to death. So that's the reason he never wanted to leave the house. Or lightning might strike him down. So everything that was there in this world, that he was afraid of. So he might die due to accident, he might die due to infection, or because of the animals he might die. A donkey might kick him and he may die. Or lightning might strike him if he's there in the open air. He might love a girl and that girl might ditch him. That girl would leave him. So he had not one but numerous reasons not to go out of the house. He might sleep on a banana skin and fall, and people who saw him would laugh their heads off. So 101 reasons, like the story of a king whom the astrologer had told that he would die of snake bite. So what did he do? He started living in a boathouse. So what was there all around? There was a water all around, and he thought that snake would never be able to bite him. And one day a pack of fruits was brought, and inside that package of the fruits, what was there? There was a small snake, and that bit him. Though the king had tried so many things, he was destined to die of snake bite. And here is a person who is afraid of everything. So he doesn't want to come on the road because he might meet with an accident. He is very much afraid of breathing outside because he might breathe deadly germs, or donkey might kill him, lightning might strike him, a girl might ditch him, and he might sleep on a banana skin and fall and die. People who saw him would laugh their heads off. So he went into this room, locked the door, got into his bed, stayed there. Forever? It was only for a while. Then what happened? Then a picture fell off the wall onto his head, killed him, and he died off due to what? He died off due to a picture. He was afraid that if he is there on the road, he might die. But now here inside the room, he died of a trivial thing, that's a picture. Now here Derry says, you still say peculiar things. Now here Derry starts laughing after hearing the story that this man was afraid of everything. He died off because of the picture. The picture fell down and he died off the frame. So he felt he was telling very strange things. And Mr. Lamb said, peculiar to some. So these are all strange things to some people. What do you do all day? Now Derek starts getting interested in Mr. Lamb. Now here's a question. Do you think all this will change Derek's attitude towards Mr. Lamb? Now we have seen that Derek was laughing. Is it that there is going to be a change in Derek's attitude? Now he starts getting interested in whatever Mr. Lamb says. And he says, you are saying all peculiar things. What do you do all day? Derek is very much interested what Mr. Lamb does. Because he feels that he's like him. The kind of problem he faces, similar kind of problem he faces. But his attitude is different. He is a very, very optimistic person. Sit in the sun, read books. You thought it was an empty house, but inside, come inside. You thought it's empty house, nobody is there. It's full, books and other things full. But there aren't any curtains at the windows. I'm not fond of curtains. I don't like curtains. Shutting things out, shutting things in. I like the light and the darkness and the windows open. I like to hear the wind. Yes, I like that. When it's raining, I like to hear it on the roof. So he's enjoying everything that is there in the nature. He's enjoying rain. So you are not lost, are you? Not altogether. You do hear things, you listen. So, and then he says, Derry says that I like that. When it's raining, I really like to hear all that. That means you're not lost. You like things. They talk about me downstairs. When I'm not there, what will he ever do? What's going to happen to him when we are gone? However, will he get on in this world? So, they are talking about me. And how, if I die, what will happen? Looking like that, with that on his face, that's what they say. That's what they are talking about. Again, the obsession about him. Again, he comes back to him. And we start getting doubt. Will he really change? Will his attitude change? Now here Mr. Lamb goes on motivating Derry. And Derry has a scarred face. But there are many unfortunate children. Lord boy, you have got two arms. There are many who don't have both arms. There are many who have got only one arm. Two legs. There are many who don't have both legs. Now here, Mr. Lamb was the one who had lost one leg due to explosion. And eyes, there are many who are blind. There are many who are deaf and dumb. You have got a tongue and a brain. There are so many who are stupid. You will get on the way you want, like all the rest. And definitely you'll be able to move on, like all the rest. There are many who are unfortunate, but you are better as compared to all of them. And if you choose and set your mind to it, and if you choose to lead the life and set your mind, and if you focus, you could get on better than all the rest. Your condition is far better than all the rest because they're all handicapped. They have a lot of problems. You don't have any, to be frank. How? Same way as I do. Do you have any friends? Hundreds. But you live by yourself in that house. It's a big house too. Friends everywhere. People coming. Everybody knows me. The gate is always open. They come and sit here. And in front of the fire in winter, kids come for the apples and pears. And for toffee, I make toffee with honey. Anybody comes, so have you. So amiable person. So sociable person. He likes kids. He likes the world. He likes nature. He doesn't think about his handicap. And he tells Derry, why to think about all that? You are far better than many others who are unfortunate ones. But I'm not a friend. Certainly you are. There he says that I am not a friend. But he says, surely you are. So far as I am concerned. I feel that you are a friend. What have you done to make me think you are not? How can you say that you are not my friend? You don't know me. You don't know where I come from or even what my name is. Why do you require all that to know? You can't be friendly with anybody. Mr. Lamb says, why should that signify? Why is that very important? To know about your background? Do I have to write all your particulars down, put them in a filing box before you can be a friend? Is it all required there? About your biodata to become a friend? It's not an interview for a job. It's only friend relation. Not necessarily that you should know everything about your friend. I suppose not no. You could tell me your name if you choose and not if you didn't. If you don't want to tell your name, no problem. If you want to tell, please tell. Derry. Only it's a Derek. But I hate that. Derry. If I am your friend, you don't have to be mine. I choose that. I don't matter. You need not call me as Derry. I hate that, Derek. Certainly. I might never come here again. You might never see me again. And then I couldn't still be a friend. Now here, Derry is not sure whether he would come again. Derry never likes to meet people. But now he's getting interested. But he's in doubt whether he would come again. Why not? Why will you not come? How could I? You pass people in the street and you might even speak to them, but you never see them again. There may be many people passing by on the street. Do you talk to them? You never talk to them. People come by on the road, they pass by, they just move on, and then they disappear. It doesn't mean they are friends. It is not that they are friends. You just see them. They are just walking on the road. Will they be all friends? Similar way, I'll just come, I will go, and will never meet each other. Will I be your friend? That is the question Derry asks. Oh, doesn't mean they are enemies. It doesn't mean that they are enemies either, does it? So will it mean that they are all enemies? No, they are just nothing. People, that's all. They are just people. But they are not friends. People are never just nothing. Never. People are never just nothing. There are some people I hate that would do you more harm than any bottle of acid. Acid has burned your face. But if you start hating people for no reason, then what will happen? That will kill you. Only like a bomb only blew up my leg. There's worse things can happen. You can burn yourself away inside. Inside will be burning. What has happened? It has happened outwardly. But if you start hitting people due to that hatred, you will suffer, not those people. After I would come home, one person said, he would have been better off stopping in there in the hospital. He would be better off with others like himself. She thinks blind people only ought to be with other blind people and idiot boys with idiot boys. So he should have remained in the hospital. Why he has come with a scarred face? And what about people with no legs altogether? You mean that I'm a lame, I should be only with lame? That's right. What kind of a world would that be? Lame with lame, blind with blind, deaf with deaf. What kind of a world would that be? At least there would be nobody to stare at you because you aren't like them. They're all alike, so nobody will stare. Nobody will hate each other. Everybody will develop a bond. This kind of world Derry thinks of. So you think you are just the same as all the other people with burnt faces. You think that all those who have got burnt faces, they are like you. Creating a world of yourself, remaining in that shell, remaining yourself, isolated yourself from all others just by what you look like. Ah, Everything is different. How depressing it will be, how frustrating it will be. Everything is the same, but everything is different. Remember that everything is same, but everything is different in itself. It all depends upon your perspective. It all depends upon your attitude. It's a mental world that is what is very important, not the physical world. Thank you. Goodbye.